Hey, we are back and we're straight from the Cinemark Theater in Sandusky, Ohio, with a viewing of Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Ooh. And shout out to our movie bros up in the top left corner of the theater.
Oh yeah, they're always there.
They're always there. We buy our tickets online when we know it might be packed, and we always see there's two little spots taken up in the
far corner.
All the way top row in the far corner.
In the far back corner.
But they're at all the movies we're at. Yeah. So shout out to those guys. And so we're coming straight from the theater. What's your first impression?
Well, I have to say, if you're picking that seat in the movie theater, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's
comment below where you sit in the movie theater. I don't need the exact seat number. The center.
Center.
That will do.
Top, center, left and right where you sit, and vertical.
Yeah.
Top, middle, bottom. One time we saw a guy front row corner. He reserved the seat.
No one was going to take that
very front row.
No one was going to take that.
So he was watching the movie like this. What was that guy doing? What was that? That was the last one we saw. Was it Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, we always see that ticket taken, but we always forget to look and see who's up there. But yeah.
There's always something.
So shout out to those guys. So anyway, to the movie.
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning, yes. What's your first take? This is the spoiler-free zone.
Spoiler-free.
We'll let you know when we get to the spoiler section, talk about the specifics of the movie. What do you mean?
Listen,
what do you mean?
Some of us do research for this show, right? Some of us just watched the last one.
That's the extent of my research. What do we need to do?
Some of us go all the way back to Ghost Protocol when the series started to get hot.
Yeah, so what's your point?
Well, I watched Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout.
But I'm saying...
I'm saying that
when I watch a movie, how do I feel when I leave the theater? How do I feel?
And I'm telling you, I was like, I liked it. I think action was great. I think the intensity was there. You know, I was clenching up quite a bit. It was crazy. But story-wise, I felt this one lacked where the other Mission Impossibles really didn't.
Well, I think because most of the story came in the part one of this. I mean, that set the thing in motion. You know what has to happen.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like...
we can't go into without spoiler alerts. I'm going to disagree with him on this. I thought story-wise, obviously most of the steps of the story were set in the first one, because you know, okay, they got to get the thing out of the submarine. They're going to have to do this. They're going to have to do this. They got to get Gabriel out of the picture. Whatever. So you knew the story going in.
I knew the story going in. I get that, but I'm saying it felt... This is what's okay. The first 10 minutes,
we're going to agree on that. We're going to agree on that.
It seems a little just like, it's like too much.
A little disjointed. I felt awkward watching like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, first 10, first 20. I feel like they could have started the movie later, and it would have
probably been okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been lost.
I feel like that was probably a recap, sort of, for people maybe that didn't see the first one or hasn't seen the first part of this since it came out, whenever, a couple years ago. Didn't do their research and watched it again.
Well, I mean, come on. I feel like people that are in this franchise, they're gonna rewatch.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it did feel strange that first 10 minutes. It just
and there's something with they had like something on the camera as well. Like a filter or something that vanished after the title sequence.
I did not notice it.
It was like a weird dimness, and I was worried the whole film was going to be like that. It was like dim.
I kind of...
You know?
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm going to go see this again. It's worth seeing once and probably twice.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot happening.
It's a lot happening. It's Tom Cruise.
He's doing crazy stuff.
Doing crazy
per
stuff.
usual.
But, I mean, he was out of control on this one. But it is worth seeing again because I think you're right. I do remember that it was like dark. That's what I mean. The whole first part is like, I was worried I was going to be disappointed. I'm like, what's going on here?
You know, and you got 2 hour 43 minute
2 hours 43 minutes.
It doesn't feel like that, but
no, it doesn't.
That's your runtime, and this is part 2.
Yeah.
Cut out that first 20 minutes, man. Give us a break.
Yeah, because I don't think it really. Yeah, there's a weird. Yeah.
It's a weird feel, but get through it. Endure it, and you will enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's obviously an action movie. That's what these are.
That's what they're for.
It serves on that,
and it delivers in that department.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to when I was watching it. I got lost and hooked up in it, and I'm just watching it, going, "Oh, this is sweet. This is sweet." I felt much like I was watching Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time.
Oh,
which
there is like a Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That was cool. That was a little. I knew that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
but I was like, okay, you almost got run over at that point. Probably wouldn't have been able to hack it. There's a couple points where you do have to suspend, but it's an action film. It's a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible action film, so it's not.
Also, at the same
time, you're going to
You
suspend.
never know if he's really doing it or not.
Yeah, like, which makes it. I mean, you're like,
some
okay,
point where I was like, he could actually be really doing this.
Yeah, he might be.
This could be I feel like this isn't something somebody could do, but then again, Tom Cruise.
You don't know.
He probably is doing it.
He's probably just out there.
They might have really found a submarine.
They might have just been at, hey,
Tom Cruise, go down there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Action scene. So anyway, I like I say, when I leave the theater, how did I feel? And I was like, oh, that was cool. That was a sweet movie.
Yeah. Like I said,
great action.
Yeah.
I thought all the people did a good job in it. Obviously, the camera work and the stunts.
Actually, I have a nitpick about camera work, and it only is in these two, the Reckoning duology.
Duology.
They do this weird thing where the camera's like up and tilted.
Yeah.
And I'm not a
It's
fan.
a Dutch angle, I think it's called in the parlance.
Get rid of the Dutch angle.
They do that, but did they just do that in this one?
In this
or they do
duology.
it throughout the franchise?
No, in just the Reckoning duology. It's
It's supposed to disorient you as a viewer, to show that things are out of control, which I think, with the entity being in charge of things, that's why they...
But sometimes it's just like they're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise just survived something that maybe he shouldn't have. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Don't Dutch angle me now. And they're cutting.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
And they're cutting in the first one, The Reckoning. What is it called? Dead Reckoning? Part 1?
Oh, yeah, Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning.
Or is it Dead Reckoning Part 1, Final Reckoning. Which is this one. But in the first Dead Reckoning, it's like the scene where he gasses all those guys.
Yeah, they did that a lot in there.
They did that, but they're also cutting it, and he's moving. Kittredge is moving from this side of the screen to this side of the screen to this side of the screen to this side.
Oh, you're talking about the dialogue. Yes, I noticed that too. The leading space for the headshot on the dialogue is to his left, and then in the middle of it's still a shot of him. It's going, which I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
So that was a new thing, and then they switched to his head on the right side of the screen,
and I just got
space
lost
to the left,
and you'd add the Dutch angle on top of it. I feel like I'm
in
an out of control merry-go-round, and
I think they're just trying to liven up dialogue somehow.
You really don't need it in these movies though, because a lot of the stuff is like important, and I'm getting lost. I'm like, whoa, just
the guy
slow
that's
down.
doing his research is getting lost.
Like, you know what I mean? They're like saying a million different things. Oh, they're dead and they're disavowed, and then we got to deal with this guy, and then there's a cruciform key, and I'm like, slow down, okay? Because right now I'm looking at you at two different sides of the screen.
It's like I'm watching.
And then we're cutting
that date. I gotta explain everything.
Then we're cutting to Tom Cruise, and he's on both sides of the screen, and it's like, what is going on? Man?
I did notice that, and I noticed
there used to be
that
discipline in filmmaking until Tom Cruise came in here.
It's just helter skelter, even the dialogue scenes. But yeah, they did do that, and I did notice that was an odd thing, especially when we watched it again last week.
Yeah.
I don't know that they did that particular technique where the guy switched sides.
Yeah, that wasn't as apparent to me in this one.
But they did do a lot of
the Dutch angle,
and they're looking up at him a lot of times too, which I wonder why that is. What they're thinking is.
That must be signature Dutch angle. That must
be. We'll have to look up the cameraman and see on that.
Yeah, what's his deal?
What's his deal?
What if they just had a broken tripod?
Maybe he couldn't afford a new one. It's always
we're making $1 billion movie. Can't afford a tripod.
Got to cut corners on the tripod with the bust duct tape.
We'll call it a Dutch angle. Yeah, cover our tracks.
Be innovative. But okay, besides that small complaint, I mean, it's good. You know what? There's the only thing. Oh, it didn't have really a car chase at the very end. It had a car chase.
I was worried about a car chase.
No motorcycles.
No motorcycles.
No motorcycles.
But speaking of car chases, I was worried because the car chase in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 Final Reckoning, it's a long one.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of the middle of the movie.
And it is the best one because they do have it. It's like the funny little yellow car and they're handcuffed. So it's the most entertaining one. But at this point, you're on seven of these.
I mean, that's what you got to do.
Come on.
Them guys are sitting there. Those guys are putting in midnight oil trying to figure out how to make a car chase something new that we haven't seen.
But you know what I mean? That one was like a 3-hour movie as well.
Yeah.
And we got a 40-minute car chase in Part 7. So I was worried we're going to get a car chase in this.
No,
we did not.
Really. Yeah,
So I guess that serves its
You have
purpose.
the submarine sequence.
Yeah.
You have
The big stunt, which is the plane.
the plane. That was a big chunk at the end there. But I mean,
that was new. No one ever does the plane. Plane
the
chase.
biplane.
Unless
the guy
you're
had a
in-
good excuse for having two.
Yeah.
He said as a backup, so there was two of them there, which was cool.
Yeah. Unless you're Tom Cruise, then
Unless
you
you're
do Top
Cruise.
Gun.
Well, that was almost
Then you do
spoilerish.
plane
That was almost
chase.
spoilerish.
A plane chase?
Well, I said there was two of them. They had a good
People
reason. to have
know,
two.
dude. That's
Yeah, I mean,
the big
yeah.
stunt. They're like,
Yeah.
look at these two planes flying close to each other, and Tom Cruise is on the wing.
So yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with the characters.
It definitely is fun. It's
Yeah.
fun, it's action, it's intense.
Yeah, I mean,
It's Tom
it's got
Cruise
some
at his
twists and
finest.
turns in it. You know, you got the crazy Mission Impossible plans that they're throwing out there.
No mask.
No mask. No mask.
This is the
That's a
first
spoiler,
mission.
man. People.
It's
are,
not a spoiler. we're on 8 of these. I guess that might be a spoiler. There's no
Yeah,
that like came as a shock to me. I was like, wow.
I didn't really realize. it till right now.
I realized it right
That's
away.
what I mean. I think that this one, you know what has to happen. It's just from the get go. They're
Yeah,
just
they
on
really
the
can't
case.
have schemes, I guess.
Not that kind of scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got to get going.
Yeah.
Exotic locales. They were at a lot of different locations.
Yeah. Like we said, a big part of this was submarine.
Yeah, that was a great sequence.
There's
They're on the aircraft carrier. They're in
the Arctic,
the Arctic.
They're
I mean,
in
all of that you know from the scene.
Alaskan Island.
Alaskan Island. And then thing at the end, thing at the beginning. They're in the city. So
Yeah.
a lot of different locales.
Classic Mission Impossible.
Classic Mission
Sending
Impossible.
guys all over the world.
Not enough of the music, I think.
I was going to say that. I was like waiting for the big
Yeah, for
Mission
especially
Impossible.
on the airplane thing, and all of a sudden,
I thought for sure it was going to come in.
but it didn't.
It never
it
did. They had something different.
They
A
had-
different like theme. That in the submarine, I was like, whoa. The
Yeah.
music on that was.
Yeah, that was creepy.
It was so out of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it was not.
It felt
typical.
like cultist. Maybe
Yeah.
something you see in
'Cause you-
Dune or like a sci-fi.
Because you're down there in the dark ocean.
You don't know what's down there.
You don't know what's down there. They don't know. They still don't know what's down there.
Yeah. Tom Cruise.
It could be anything. I won't get sidetracked on that. That's almost a conspiracy theory. We'll just stay focused on Mission Impossible right now. So yeah,
Yeah, go see it. I mean, why not? What
Yeah.
else are you gonna do?
yeah. What else you gonna do
What
at
are
this
you
point?
doing?
He had his little thing at the beginning, a little.
And I think Tom Cruise
greeting.
invented that.
Oh, for sure. I think he invented.
Well, in Top Gun Maverick, when it was like COVID
coming
and
back from COVID.
yeah,
And I've seen that in a couple other movies now.
yeah, I think everybody was like,
But he
"Oh."
does it the best.
Yeah,
'Cause
Tom
he-
Cruise is the movie guy. You know what I mean? You can tell he really has a passion for filmmaking and just being all about movies. He watches a movie a day.
Is that what he says?
That's what he says.
Do you watch the same? Do you rewatch? Or are you trying to find new ones all the time?
You can't find it. You can't
it's not
watch a
even
new
go to
movie
Blockbuster.
every day. You can't watch a new movie every day.
Where do you get?
There's so much garbage out there.
There is so much garbage. Let's face
And
it.
it's
We
hard
all
to
just
ask-
scan through Netflix.
You know, you're looking at your HBO Max and the Batman's looking at you. The Dark Knight, it's sitting there.
but there's a lot of
Dune
good
2.
old, supposedly good old classic films. But where do you go to get them?
You know what? I'm
you used to
sick
be
and
able to go
tired.
to Blockbuster and get it. Now where?
The streaming service, but I'm sick and tired of.
Like if I want to watch Little Rascals,
Yeah, that's
The
YouTube,
old
man.
TV.
That's just on YouTube, I bet.
old TV videos. I mean the original Little Rascals or the original Three Stooges. Where is that stuff now?
It's on YouTube, I bet. But you know
Original
what? I'm sick and
episodes?
tired of people going, "Oh, it's a classic." Those are done for. I'm talking about like movies from the 50s and the 60s, and it's like you're supposed to be watching these and enjoying them. No one's enjoying those
I think
anymore.
stuff drops off.
But we
Like, if
can't.
you-
Like,
if
let
you-
it go.
Well,
Like
if you-
Rear Window. Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
Don't. Let it go. That's not a classic.
It's not a classic anymore. That's what I mean. If you have the top 100 films, stuff is coming out. Stuff's got to drop off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know what would you consider a top 100 film.
Dune 2 came out in 2024. I think
Is that a
that's-
top 100? So something's got to drop
that's
out.
what I'm saying.
Something's
That's
gotta drop
better
out.
than.
Rear Window.
Yeah, it's better than Rear Window. That's better than a lot of stuff from.
Yeah, they're just
They're just holding on.
holding on.
Like, let it go. Stuff is coming out. It's great.
Maybe we'll do an episode on that. New additions to the top 100 films.
Or stuff that should be forgot.
Or
Stuff that
stuff
should be
that-
let go.
Maybe we'll look at the list
Yeah.
and go, okay,
And
let's
go
get
through
rid of
it one
these
by
10
one.
films. Let's get rid of these 10 films to make room for 10 new films.
Yeah.
I think in an action, if you had an action adventure list or action list, I think this something from Mission Impossible has to be.
Oh,
on
Mission
there.
Impossible Fallout.
Yeah,
That's still the best one.
that's. I don't know, man. I like these.
The
I
Dead
like
Reckoning
these.
duology?
Yeah, I would count them as one.
Yeah.
I would count them as one.
Like Infinity War. And
Yeah.
That's kind of one.
See, that's got to be on there.
Yeah,
The
those
Infinity
easily.
Endgame, that's got to be on the top 100 films of all time.
Yeah, just for the cultural impact.
Yeah, for cultural
That
impact.
was huge.
That-
You remember seeing that in the theaters, Infinity War? You walk out of that, spoiler.
Which
if you
one?
haven't seen
What-
that.
Endgame?
Infinity War's the one where where Thanos snaps his fingers at the end and everybody just dies. And then the movie just ends.
Yeah, and you're like, oh man, what
What
junk.
What?
But
is
but
happening?
even better than that is coming into Endgame, and you're just there, boom,
And they kill Thanos.
and they
chop his head
walk
off.
in and kill Thanos,
And you're like,
you're
whoa.
like, dang, what the junk. I was
Yeah.
like, boy, that
You don't
was
know
unexpected.
what's gonna
And
happen.
I'm going to give Marvel credit for that, because you would think the way they make trailers now, that you would have saw that in the trailer.
Yeah.
They totally give you the whole movie in the
Yeah.
trailers anymore, which I hate.
Dude.
Because it's like, why do I want to go to that movie? They go through it plot point by plot point by plot, like Fantastic Four. I'll throw out there right now. You didn't have to say that Mrs. Fantastic or whatever her name is
She
was
was
pregnant.
born.
Why would you say she's pregnant? Just save that. Save it.
Yeah.
Save something for the movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I give Marvel credit for that. That was not leaked. That okay, the first
None of that movie.
first 5 minutes of the film, because that was a total.
That movie was off the walls, dude. That was, we're doing time travel.
It was.
And they went back
they
and
had like a
revisited-
Mission Impossible theme. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were revisiting the old films.
But it wasn't like, dude.
like as if they
You
had
could
it
never
planned
top
from the
that.
beginning.
Yeah.
You will never. That's the problem.
And then the end. We're completely off subject. But the end of Avengers Endgame,
Which
do you
part
remember
of the end?
seeing that?
I don't know.
When it's like, Thanos came back. They snap their fingers. They think it works. Thanos comes back, blows up that base. Then it's Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man versus Thanos
I really
in
don't
their
remember.
wreckage. You remember that? Oh my gosh, I remember seeing that not as a kid. It was like 5 years ago. But I was like, dude, that was blowing my mind. And then like, he's about to kill Thor. Captain America lifts Thor's hammer. Do you remember that? Dude,
I just know that.
dude, that was electric.
Obviously,
That was
so.
crazy.
Those things as a combined movie gets on the top 100 list. Yeah, for many reasons, but also they will never duplicate that
You just
20 movie
can't.
build up.
You just can't do that.
They try to rush through it now, and they try to force that on everything now, and it just doesn't work.
Because
What
they're
made
too
it
concerned about, look at all this stuff we have planned.
right? Whereas that was just more. Nobody knew it was coming, and all of a sudden you're 10 movies in, and you're like, oh wow, these things all go together.
It's really
and wow,
working
this
well
is-
for them. There's something happening here.
Yeah. So I don't know how that all. Oh, that gets on the top 100 classic movies list.
Yeah, so anyways, back to
For,
Mission Impossible.
for action adventure, I think this one, action movie, I think this is on a top list.
Yeah.
To me,
think about
Mission
action,
Impossible's
though.
got to be represented somehow, some way.
Oh, for
Either
sure.
like
I think
you say,
it definitely
Fallout
is.
or this.
It definitely is. Action movies. I mean,
There's really nothing coming out right now. I think there's a lot
I
of
don't-
movies that are.
yeah. You know, Raiders
I'm
of
a
the Lost Ark
retired
is going to be
spy.
up there.
But I mean, what they redo now is, I'm a retired spy trying to live the life, and
got
I
my
mean, there's like
kids.
10 different ones
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm impressed with the franchise.
Yeah.
Because again, it is very like, I mean, you're in 8 of these. and you're still getting new stuff out there. You're still making scenes bigger and bigger, which is another thing we were talking about. Somehow they always add to the scene. You know, it's not just Tom Cruise is in a submarine.
It starts out Tom Cruise in a submarine. Then all of a sudden,
well, we're going to throw a bunch of stuff.
there's a shark in the submarine. There isn't in this one.
Yeah, this
I'm
isn't a
making up
spoiler,
spoilers.
but yeah.
There's a shark, and then there's a shark.
The shark shooting lasers.
Right. They just keep one obstacle after the other. They keep upping it in the scene.
Yeah.
But I was going to say also, you don't get any hint of CGI. Either the CGI that they do use is so minimal and so good, you don't. I think they probably use it for scenery, like when they're going through the North Pole or Alaska. They probably aren't. They aren't using it to
make a whole scene.
Make the whole scene. The whole bodies are.
Yeah. Everybody's wearing a CGI suit.
Yeah,
nobody's really sitting there in the room.
I think that's
together.
what makes. That's how you get lost in this one so much. You aren't caught up in.
This looks fake. This background's fake.
Because you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, even as good as it is now, you can still.
There's always like a moment, you know.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
Give me
that guy.
break.
Yeah.
That guy's safe at home. Not Tom Cruise. He's hanging on the side of a plane.
Yeah. And
crashing
you
into
can
another
tell.
plane.
I mean, we laughed. We turned to each other and laughed when his face was.
Alvin and the Chipmunks ass.
Yeah, because he was flying in the air on a plane.
Poor guy.
Now, they wouldn't have CGI'd that.
No, they would have been like Tom Cruise.
He would just be like,
yeah, it would have been 2001 Vanilla
because
Sky, Tom Cruise in the wind.
If you did try to CGI that, it would have looked ridiculous.
You couldn't do it.
You couldn't.
And even if you did it like, oh, here, hang on this plane that's on a set and we're going to rock it and blow wind, you wouldn't be able to get that effect. You don't have a big enough fan to blow his face up like that.
So, I mean, it was, so, I mean, you know it's legit. You know it's happening.
Now, the rest of these guys, they're probably not doing the real stunts.
I don't know, at one point, they were both upside down.
Yeah, what's going on? That guy might have been.
And that guy was like going nuts. Yeah, so I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I walked out of the theater. I'm going to go see it again at least one more time in the theaters. I'll watch it again at home on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, the comfort of your own couch.
I mean, I really like these. I really like the Mission Impossible movies. If I had to rate this right now, I mean, it's a 9 or a 10 for me.
Wow.
I just go by, okay, I left the theater.
I left the theater. I'll give it a solid 7.
7? What'd we just give Thunderbolts?
I like Thunderbolts more.
Oh,
I really did like Thunderbolts more. It was...
This guy.
I just felt like... I don't know. I think I like a team dynamic. And Tom Cruise, for a lot of this, is outside of the team.
He is. They do split up a lot.
And I really like... one thing I always like is him and Benji.
Yeah,
because Benji always is downplaying
what he's doing.
What Tom Cruise is doing. He's always like, oh, I had to go in there and get on my computer and type real fast. Like, no, I had the worst of it. And Tom Cruise, again, hanging outside the plane, hanging outside of the building.
That was cool in the first one. One of the opening scenes when they're in the airport and those guys are doing the bomb. He's running around after that girl. They're talking. Yeah. So I know what you mean by the team dynamic.
Yeah.
All the stuff's going on.
But they're somehow all communicating.
Yeah.
But this, again, I don't know. Like in Thunderbolts, those guys are together.
I think I gave them an 8 and an 8.5 or something on Thunderbolts. Probably 8. I didn't want to go with the halves. I like this one more than Thunderbolts, but that just gives you an idea of how we're rating the different films and where so you get a.
Yeah.
If you like Thunderbolts, you're gonna like this because.
Yeah, they're action movies. They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with either one of them.
No, not at all. No.
So, all right, we want to talk about specifics?
Yeah, we'll get into spoilers now.
So if you are going to watch the film and you don't want to...
Encourage you to go watch it. It's very fun.
Yeah,
you're going to get your money's worth. Like I said, I was clenched up the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to cover my face at one point.
What point was that? Because we're in the spoilers now.
Well, no, this is still spoiler free. I'm encouraging people to go to the movies, watch, and enjoy this.
Yeah, you know what? There was a lot of people at the theater tonight for Thursday night. We go to the Thursday night movies obviously a lot
because we're serious.
Because we're
legit. We don't wait for Friday to come around.
No. Yeah, I don't know when they started doing that. Anyhow, there was more people there than usual So Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible both out at the same time.
They're bringing the people.
They're bringing the
You
people.
know, you throw your kids in Lilo and Stitch and you go and watch this one.
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
Lilo
this?
and Stitch. I don't know, what is that? Is that part 2?
I think that's the live action remake.
It's live action?
Lilo and Stitch? Yeah, it's
The
live
creatures-
action,
the
but the
creatures-
creature is animated.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, who cares? I'm not going to that one. That's not my thing.
So, anyways, we're into spoiler alert.
All right, we're in
spoiler alert.
So where did you cover your face?
When he was like just that scene where, okay, I guess we'll go right to the end, huh?
Wherever, man. I
Like
don't know where you covered your
Benji's
face.
dying, and it's just like, dude, these people are not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I really was like, they're not gonna make it.
Yeah, I really was too. I was like, whoa, they're gonna. No,
And I thought
this is
Tom
the last
Cruise
one.
was gonna
Yeah,
die.
I thought he was.
That's when I was like,
he was done for
man.
too.
And then, but stupid Tom Cruise, no offense. The plane's on fire. He doesn't have time to plug that in. He jumps out. Like, okay, the world is counting on you.
I don't know.
I would plug that in.
Yeah, you got to plug it in.
I mean, that's
He kept
2
waiting.
seconds, you know? And then,
I think he had to do something, didn't he?
no, he just had to
He
plug
just
that thing
had to
in.
plug it in?
But then he like jumps out. It's like, what is your thought? What if you drop it?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
I would plug it in.
You got to plug it in and take your chances with the burning plane. But then his parachute just caught on fire like that.
So yeah, I don't know.
You know what? That house went up in flames awful quick too.
Yeah.
That thing, like the whole thing just.
And it's covered in snow. I feel like that wouldn't happen.
Well, on the outside.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like that's the
It just
like
went
a
out
little
awful
noise.
quick.
Yeah, right away.
It was like tinder waiting to be burned. But yeah, he probably could have plugged it in. But at the end, yeah, I didn't know who was going to make it. I thought Benji they were going to kill him.
Yeah, I thought that some of those people they like pick up these. They pick
Yeah,
up
they
a guy
pick up
from the
these
first
dudes.
Mission Impossible. I thought they were gonna be dead.
You know, let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, they pick up a scientist.
Hold on.
All right.
I think we just start from the beginning and work through.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Work our way through.
Because we're all over the place right now. Who knows where this is going to end up? This might be a 3-hour review at this point.
Well, the background screen runs out at about 1 hour and 8 minutes. So
Here's Indiana Jones.
yeah, that was very Indiana Jones-esque.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
You know,
from the beginning,
It's a homage.
I don't even know what it was, dude. It felt so like.
I mean, he's knocking off Indiana Jones right there.
Yeah. Benji's got a fedora on.
Yeah. So all right.
Okay.
Whatever. So
Might
we're
be
not
pretty
going
off.
to that scene. We're going to the beginning.
There's 10 minutes or 20 minutes we discussed already. It feels
It's
off.
disjointed. It's off.
And I think if you were to cut that in open, because within the first 20 minutes, Luther dies. And in case you don't know who Luther is, he's been there since the beginning. He's the big black guy who's like,
Computer whiz.
yeah,
Technology.
yeah. And I didn't see that coming.
The voice of reason. Yeah.
I did not think he was going to die. I thought all of them were going to make it out, but I guess at this point.
I guess I
Well,
really
you
didn't.
killed.
Yeah, you
Elsa
killed
last
Elsa,
one.
which she got a cheap. She got.
Yeah,
She
I
got
like her
cheap.
more than this new chick.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know why you felt the need to switch.
Yeah, because they already had that relationship, and like he falls in love with this lady right away.
Come on,
I was like, come on,
come on, man.
First of all, you have a wife still, technically.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's the life. That's the life, though.
It's impossible. But
You get these chicks like nothing. But yeah, I feel like Ilsa. She got punked out because I don't know that guy would beat her in hand-to-hand
this
combat.
Gabriel character, I still don't know. I was hoping they'd give him a little explanation because he's apparently there when
Yeah,
Ethan.
that's the only part. We talked about this too. They do a good job, I think, of tying back the other films in this movie. The only thing I didn't like in the first one was that this Gabriel. I think he'd have been fine not being connected to his beginning. I don't know why they.
Yeah,
had
you
to
could
bring,
just had a guy
I don't know why that he had to be tied to Ethan.
because there's no payout here either. It's not like it was like
Yeah.
a big thing.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's one of the forced things. Oh, we have to have something from the past. It's before he's Mission Impossible, because whatever happened there is what got him in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So
That
at
girl
that point,
died.
Gabriel's just a punk. Also,
Yeah, it's not like he was MI6 or something. Like some of the previous villains, Solomon Lane,
Right.
was that his name?
Yeah.
Who's like a previous agent gone rogue.
so you're gonna have to believe that okay, Tom Cruise got Mission Impossible for the good guys, which is probably a pretty rare thing.
Yeah.
But on the bad guy side, this guy went from street thug to
The
super
number one entity guy.
Yeah, the number one entity guy.
I just don't know. I just don't believe that.
And yeah, and I just feel like that's what they do in Star Wars when the Star Wars prequels came out. They just had to force everything from the original trilogy into the prequels.
Yeah.
Felt forced.
And again, you don't even get an explanation for him.
Yeah,
Even in
really,
this one,
it's
by the
just-
time this one's over, it's just like, okay, he is just some guy.
From the past, for some reason.
Yeah, I just don't think he could kill anyone. Any one of these guys. Unless he, like, shoots them from behind.
He should have been, and not everybody's a hand-to-hand combat expert. And Elsa obviously has been doing, she is.
Yeah, she's trained.
She had a sword and he had a knife. Right there, I feel, if you're equal, the person with the sword wins.
Yeah, just stab him.
You don't have to get close. Yeah. You don't have to get close.
But yeah, I just feel like, yeah, you're right. She got robbed.
Because she was a cool character.
Yeah.
So anyway, then Luther dies.
And I feel like that's where the movie could have started. Ethan
With
running
that
through
sequence.
London. I don't even like the part where he goes in
I don't
the
know why
machine.
he's running through London, though.
Yeah, steal a car.
Steal a car. Get there earlier.
Guy. You know what I mean?
Because he's running at the beginning of that running sequence. He's running down a wide street across a giant bridge.
Yeah.
So it's like a half
Take
mile
a
at
car.
least. Yeah, get in the car. Call Uber.
Or, yeah, I don't know.
You how
can
long can you
hotwire it.
sprint? What's this guy? He's Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
Olympic
Even then, like, how
800
long
runner.
do you think?
Yeah. That's the only thing. But part of the shtick is Tom Cruise running. It's like Quentin Tarantino and feet. So you just go with it right now.
Yeah. But again, I feel like that would have made a much more dramatic opening than what we got, which was disjointed. If he's just running and he's covered in blood and he gets to Luther.
And then they can
Luther
do what
dies.
they always do. I think they do better than any movie. Is sort of like flashback,
Fill in the blanks.
fill in the blanks. Like,
But they give you enough between him and Luther.
yeah,
Where I'm like-
while they're talking, you could be showing what
You don't even
happened.
have
in
to
the
show.
You don't even have to show. Yeah.
They say enough. Oh, he got it. Gabriel
got
showed
the
up. He
whatever,
got us,
yeah.
and he got the poison dart or whatever, poison pill.
Poison pill.
And it's like, yeah, I feel like could have opened there. That would have been an insane opening.
Again, yeah. When I go watch it again, I'll watch that. Pay even more attention to that opening because when you see it, leave your thoughts in the comments. What you think about that?
Leave
first
where
10
you
minutes.
sat.
Yes, leave where you sat.
And
It's
what
just-
you thought
just
about
a brief
the first
survey.
10 minutes. And then you tell us what is the top 100 movies of all time.
That's a lot to ask in the comments.
Go ahead and fill it out, guys.
It's like a form now. They might want to not get involved with all this paperwork.
No, people love saying their opinions.
Yes, they do.
Go ahead, say yours in our comment section.
All right. Yeah. So I agree that it's just, but to me that by the time you're a half hour in, you've kind of forgotten about that and you moved on.
Yeah.
The way that opening was.
Yeah.
So then,
What happens next? So then they split up.
do you know this
Or
is the
they're
only
not
other
split
thing?
up.
Maybe it's not a 10. Maybe it's a 9. Maybe I'm giving it a 9. Because the only other thing I drove me nuts. Okay, the world's on the brink.
Sure.
Whole thing, the entity's going to set off nuclear bombs of everybody once it gets the codes to breaks the security, and apparently everybody knows this. But Tom Cruise has to beg everybody, let me save the world. Everybody's fighting and arguing with him like they have no clue, they have no ability.
Yeah, their plan is let's blow it all up.
Yeah, their plan is let's shoot our nuclear bombs before the entity gets a hold of them because that will do what? I don't know.
It's
What's your
gonna
rush
trigger
there?
the other ones off.
But no, not really. That was the other stupid thing. They were like, oh, we gotta fire ours before the entity gets control of them. Why? Nobody can fire back.
No,
it's not going to help
have
you.
Things in place where if within the missile silos, within the range of the missile silos, I don't know what the range is, but if the missile silo gets radiation near it, the bomb automatically goes off because at least in America, because it's like
Where are you hearing this?
this is like fact. Like the American
But doesn't the
nuclear
entity
missiles
control that now?
I don't know what it controls.
But anyway,
I'm just
it's kinda
saying, in the real world, if somebody nuked us,
your thought
we
process
might get
though,
blown off the face of the earth.
but they're going too.
Yeah.
That's assured mutual destruction. That's why nobody does it. But to me, I don't know what the plan is. Okay,
bomb.
they can't fire their nuclear missiles because the entity has control of them, and the entity's not going to blow the world up until it's safe and it has control of everybody. And we're the last one that can control our missiles, so let's shoot everybody. I don't understand the thought process there.
Yeah.
But anyway, for the
You're
first whatever half of the movie, every time Tom Cruise has to confront somebody or go to a new level to talk to people, he has to convince them. He has to go, I'm the only one that can save the world. I gotta do this, this, and this. Why? Because, you know what I mean?
like, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 3 days, we're gonna wait. You're gonna wait 3 days anyway.
Right.
I mean, you might wait till there's 1 minute left
But
to
you're
launch your
waiting for
nukes.
3 days.
Yeah.
You got no plan. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, so why not? Oh, here's a guy.
Here, give him some money. Let him go to town. Go do
Yeah,
what you gotta
because
do.
what else? Their plan is to control the entity. You still need Tom Cruise to get the thing out of the submarine to control it anyway.
Yeah.
Because at this point, look through your list of people you have available. Who's the guy that's going to be able to do this? Well, this guy has done X, Y, and Z in the Impossible Mission Task Force.
Yeah, they kind of read his resume. Oh,
So
you were that guy?
probably him.
That's probably the guy.
He's doing all this
Let's just
wild
follow
stuff.
him. Let's just help him out and follow him.
But you know what I mean? Even if your plan is to control the entity, your best
You
bet
still
to
have
get
to get
is this guy.
right.
So you'd be like, yeah, go ahead, go get it.
But you know what I mean? He has to argue with the first 10 people he runs into,
Yeah.
which got annoying to me. It's like, guys, what?
And
And then
there's no other plan. No one has
the
a plan.
Kittredge guy and the
Goofy
face,
guy, yeah.
goofy face
Goofy
guy,
haircut, he's got it
goofy
full.
guy. Those guys, I don't know.
What they're doing.
Yeah,
they're troublemakers.
they are just
They're
always.
good old fashioned
We're
troublemakers.
gonna do the opposite. We don't.
We're gonna talk like this, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do all these bad things that mess up everybody. Like at one point they do, they show up and mess everything up.
Yeah, well, they basically Tom Cruise basically had it nailed down.
Yeah,
And
they're
these
like,
guys
oh,
come in and you're like, oh, idiots.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, we're here. Ethan, hand over the cruciform key. We're gonna get it out of the submarine. All right, doofus, go get it, bro. Go get it out of the submarine. You're gonna die. You're gonna die.
Yeah,
In
those
the
guys-
helicopter
I
to
was
get
hoping.
there.
So they finally, Tom Cruise lands at the very end in a field somewhere. They come flying in on helicopters. I was hoping Tom Cruise would punch the old guy out.
Yeah.
The other guy, goofy haircut, Batman voice guy.
No, Kittredge is the Batman voice. What are you gonna do, Ethan?
Oh yeah.
Every decision you've ever made.
I was hoping he would just punch that guy out.
Yeah.
It's like, you're an idiot. What do you?
How has he made it this far in his career?
Yeah, always, like, you have firsthand knowledge of Tom Cruise out of more of these movies than anybody. He always saves the day. And you're for some reason betting against him.
We gotta lock him up in a prison for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Because
he might just save the world.
gosh darn it.
And that is not my plan.
Yeah, already too.
You know who was not in this one? Who? Is it Elena? The white-haired chick?
The White Widow.
The White Widow.
I don't know what she would have done anyway.
I don't know what she would have done either,
But yeah, she was a
got
reoccurring
shafted.
character
Yeah,
for a
she
couple.
didn't get shafted. Yeah, what would she have done?
Yeah, she's too busy filming Fantastic Four anyway.
Yeah, too busy. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say?
Oh, so the whole first one, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 Final Reckoning, they're after this cruciform key. No one can get it. No one, they literally go, Ethan, you have to get it. And then they're like, okay, you got that for us, you're done. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want you doing any more. You did the thing we couldn't do.
So now we have all kinds of stuff we can't do, but we don't want you to do it.
You did 50% of this job that was deemed impossible.
Yeah, I don't know why those guys.
Yeah, they're just troublemakers. I don't
They're just
like them.
troublemakers.
I don't like
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that guy's in charge. Just put Ethan in charge and let him
Yeah,
run wild.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Literally anyone else.
So then they go to the.
Oh, the burning building part.
Yeah, the team splits up. Ethan goes to the ocean,
goes on
the
his
aircraft
own.
carrier. These guys go to get the location of the submarine at some base in Alaska. And the Russians were already there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Russians had another key, so they just needed the coordinates.
Yeah. You know what I would love to see?
What?
The Russian guy. The Russian Ethan Hunt.
That'd be, yeah.
Like, what was he doing during all this?
Yeah, where's he at?
Probably locked him up, too.
They probably got
The Russians
him.
are like, stop that guy.
Get our own guy off the case. We can't have it.
But yeah, so the team splits up, and that's where, for me, it lacked for a little bit of time. Because like I said, I think Ethan and Benji, especially, their dynamic is really fun to watch and be a part of. And then they have like these new guys, and then Benji's with them, but they don't really have any sort of chemistry whatsoever, and they don't really give them time to develop chemistry either. Like, they immediately step in this building and are taken prisoner, pretty much.
Yeah, in the Alaska, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. They get captured by the Russians, who were all got there a step ahead of them, looking for these coordinates for the submarine. Which was cool in Mission Impossible 1, the original. He broke into Langley and stole the names of the people. That's when he's hanging down, which was the worst stunt
Of all time.
If you want to see that episode. But obviously it was just a one-off character. He walked through the door and saw the knife in the board, and he was the programmer that supposedly was in charge of security.
Got the blame for
whatever. Yeah, so he then got shipped off to Alaska because his code to make security for that section was garbage. It failed because
some guy came flying through the vents.
Yeah, it did all kind of crazy
It didn't
stuff.
touch the floor.
But it was. I thought it was cool that was the guy.
Yeah, it was nice. You know,
It was a nice callback to the first one. It didn't feel like I say the Star Wars ones. Well, we have to have Anakin Skywalker builds 3PO
and
R2D2
goes across the galaxy.
Yeah, and R2D2 was owned by Obi-Wan, though nobody remembers it. Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah,
Just create
just
loopholes.
lore correction. R2D2 was owned by Anakin Skywalker as well.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was his little guy in the R2D2 like was in whatever the ship is called.
That yellow stupid ship.
Yeah.
That's just not.
But yeah, so he was Anakin Skywalker's
You had to
droid.
force it. Okay, why would those two droids and nobody remembers them? Why would you do that to yourself?
They're with the biggest guy in the galaxy. Anakin Skywalker
Just so
was
happens.
like a war hero.
And then all of a sudden, we end up with his son, but nobody.
And Boba Fett also. His dad is Jango Fett.
Yeah, come on. This galaxy is about the size of this room. For all the people that know each other. There's only like 16 people in the galaxy, and they're all related.
One way or another. They've crossed paths multiple times, but none of them can.
Yeah, but they don't remember. It's like
I don't like having it in 30
it's like
years.
space flight. Yeah, space flight causes amnesia, and then Obi-Wan ages 50 years in the span of 16.
And he doesn't remember R2.
Luke Skywalker's 15 years old, and Obi-Wan has gone from flipping through the air doing jumping jacks to can barely walk Alec Guinness and has to lightsaber fight like this. Come on, don't do that to yourself. Do some better writing. Come on. Would have been way better. They could have done so much more. I don't know. I mean, I liked Phantom Menace. After that, I don't think I've ever watched any of the other two again. Once in the theater.
I don't know.
What that's got to do with it? What's that got to do with Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible? I don't know. So anyway, I'll tell you what it has to do. That guy shows up from the first one, but it doesn't feel like they're beating you over the head,
Twisting your arm
to tie everything together to the first episodes. It's a nice little thing. They show the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other one was the entity came from.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Goofy Hair Guy. Goofy Hair Guy is the son of Mission Impossible 1 bad guy.
Yeah, the guy that was a traitor or whatever.
Yeah, so that was his gription with Tom Cruise.
That was his gripe with Tom Cruise. And again, didn't feel forced. I mean, that character was in there. The first one, you had a whole movie with him. You knew he had some kind of problem with Tom Cruise. And they didn't beat you over the head with it in the first one. Look, this guy is that guy's son, and he's pissed about it. You had a movie to just let it be, and then it kind of they kind of got in a part where Tom Cruise got captured, and they were like
talking,
getting in each other's face a little bit.
Yeah, and that's all there was to it.
Yeah, and that's all there was to it.
He's wearing the same armor that Boba Fett is wearing 30 years from now.
Yeah, and he wasn't even that. I mean, it didn't feel that forced.
Yeah.
He finally came out and said it, hey, you railroaded my dad.
Yeah. Which
Tom Cruise was like, no, man, that's the way it went down.
Yeah.
And that was it, and they moved on. It wasn't like so then what was the other one I was about to say? The
Rabbit's Foot from Mission Impossible 3.
From Mission Impossible 3. Apparently, Tom Cruise, well, not apparently, in the movie, he had to steal it to get it back for whoever, and that thing turns out to be the beginning of the entity that ends up on the Soviet sub, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So really, Tom Cruise
created the entity
in a sort of way.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, they got lucky that they never said what that rabbit's foot really was, and they could call back to it.
Yeah.
But
it just kind of is like in passing one of those things.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, we're going to spend all kind of time trying to explain this. It's just like, okay, that's the way it is, man. Because, he's in the spy world. That's how things go down sometimes.
Yeah, apparently. We don't know.
Yeah, apparently we don't know. But, seemed reasonable. Yeah. So that was cool how they wrapped all those movies together and didn't do it. They didn't cause any glaring plot holes like Obi-Wan was 27 and then 15 years later he's 80 years old and doesn't recognize R2-D2.
Yeah.
Didn't create any problems for themselves that way. So
and he didn't tell Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader's your father, by the way. Heads up.
Heads up. Might come in handy. He might try to catch you off guard with that bit of information.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. All right, so I thought all that was cool. Did we get to the sub yet? Or you want to talk about the burning building?
Yeah, that's like a weird thing that happens. They're Benji and Haley Atwell's character and the other two people, Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, and
that's who that is?
Yeah.
Never realized that.
Well, yeah, because in Guardians of the Galaxy,
she's acts like a dummy.
Freaky.
Yeah.
And that other guy, new guy,
the other agent,
CIA guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He joins a team.
Joins a team.
They're in this building talking to Bill Langley.
Bill Langley, something. No, it's Bill. He worked at Langley. Let's call him Bill Langley.
Okay.
I think of his last name.
Guy from Mission Impossible 1. They're all like talking in this cabin with the Russians, and then it catches on fire, and it goes up quick.
Quick.
Haley Atwell's character goes to feed the dogs with Bill Langley's wife, Mrs. Langley, and it like makes it seem like this is like right out back, like somebody's garage to their house.
Well, it is because you can hear the dogs.
Yeah.
Barking.
So the house catches on fire, and Haley Atwell and Mrs. Langley
hop on a dog sled,
and
and they're gone trying to meet up with Tom Cruise. There has to be a deleted scene in there
that explains what's going on.
Because all of a sudden, it didn't make any sense.
It feels so like, why would they leave that?
Why would those two? They have the most important job, and one of them's not even. One of them's just
Eskimo
Mrs.
Langley.
Yeah, it's just Mrs. Langley. You're sending her with the dog sled and the hyperbaric chamber and a chainsaw that saw him out of the ice.
And Haley Atwell's character again, she's like new to this.
She's always a little bit like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm just pickpocketing things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so let's not send these two. If that's what happened, I don't know if it's supposed to be like, they ran, they didn't know if those people survived
I think there's
in
just
there.
a deleted scene that would have explained, for some reason, there's 3 other ones, and they're all the guys, Benji, the CIA agent, and
Mantis.
Mr. Langley.
And
Mantis. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense that these two just went by themselves.
Yeah.
I was kind of mystified what was going on there.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Not us.
It all worked out.
Yeah, for Tom Cruise. Barely made it out.
Yeah, they went and got a plane and met him at the place. But I think you would have just sent the pilot, whoever could pilot the plane, but who could pilot the plane, by the way?
It seemed like Mrs. Langley was flying in the later scenes. So I don't know.
I thought she was just a passenger.
So I don't know who was flying them there. Like we were talking, Cruise could fly a plane, but he's not there.
The CIA agent.
Oh, he probably could.
You think he could?
I think he was flying it, actually. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I think they were all talking in the cab. And this was like a plane, they were like, oh, there's no GPS.
Yeah,
so I don't think there's an autopilot.
analog.
Yeah. So
Mantis,
was
I don't
flying.
think Mantis is flying it.
No. I'm telling you, there's a scene.
Benji, I don't think
he might be able to.
He might be able to. I think he might have flew a helicopter at some point or something. So
Actually, I don't think he has. He's always sitting there on the iPad.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe Mr. Langley, because he was with them. I'm going to say Mr. Langley.
I think it was Mrs. Langley, but who got them there? Who got them to the Alaska? You know what I'm talking about? Because there was no Mrs. or Mr. Langley.
Did they get to it? Maybe.
They flew that plane there, but I don't know who flew it there. It had to be CIA.
It had to be the CIA.
Gosh, I wish I knew their names.
He had a weird name. It was like some...
Yeah, I thought he was like calling him a nickname.
I did too, and it was like some Japanese name or something, wasn't
it was like Vardic or something.
Yeah,
It was like,
something. I was like, what is he saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like Jones or Johnson.
yeah, Ethan Hunt.
It was
Benji Dunn. It was like something with a V and a strong K.
Bishwag or something.
Yeah, it was something weird.
Because I could never really understand what his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
And same with Mantis's. Although, she doesn't even speak English. In this movie.
Can't she speak if she wants to, though? Or doesn't she?
In this movie, she wasn't speaking English at all.
At all? She was always subtitled, but yeah.
Maybe she could say Ethan's name.
I think maybe that's it.
That's all she could say.
That's all she could learn.
Which, I mean, learn a little bit more. What if you have something important to say? And no one there.
But they all
understood.
They all spoke her language, whatever it was. She didn't speak any English, but everybody spoke her language because they all understood.
Yeah. Well, like when she was listening to them, like they're explaining the plan.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody's translating for her.
What is she thinking? Oh, just
I just nod my head and act like I know, like you do in math class. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, because she has to perform surgery on Benji. He's not speaking in her language. So she understands English and she just decides not to speak it. That's rude.
That's what I think.
That's so rude.
That is rude. But it doesn't matter because everybody understood whatever she was. It's almost like Chewbacca. He don't speak a word, but everybody knows what he means.
Or he's a galaxy with Groot.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Yeah, turn on the...
Like you are asking this person to perform surgery on you. She doesn't have a full comprehension of the English language.
But apparently she does.
You'd be like somebody else perform surgery on me.
Yeah, can you guys switch?
Yeah. Oh. Now the plot hole. No wonder this movie's a 7.
I don't know. That's just something. That's not
Mrs. Langley.
hole.
Miss Langley flying the plane.
I don't know if she's
God knows where. She was speaking Eskimo. You know, Mr. Langley was understanding her.
At least that one, nobody's... You have to assume she understood everybody, though.
Because again, they're making these plans to save the world. And these people are like in discussion, like, and you never know. Like, what if they're just like...
They're diffusing the bomb. He's not translating.
No.
But when he was talking to her, he always talked to her in Eskimo language.
Yeah.
So she didn't speak English. He came there and learned Eskimo.
Yeah.
But they're
she didn't care to learn English for her husband. Rude.
Well, they're diffusing a bomb.
Yeah. And then, okay.
With this wire, that wire.
You have like 14 minutes. Are you saying it? Are you speaking in Eskimo to her? Because then you're leaving out CIA agent who's there with you.
Yeah.
Are you speaking English to him?
Or are you repeating everything twice?
You don't have time to repeat twice.
What do you mean you got time?
Yeah, wow. They just really relented the
just
language
throw it
fly.
out.
Like, what do you think was happening? Just speak whatever you guys are feeling, and you just nod. If you don't understand what they're saying, okay, yeah. Got it. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is saving the world.
Yeah, they're not just having a conversation where you can kind of like shrug it out or whatever. You got to be at this coordinate at this
You
time.
gotta make sure you guys are, cutting the right wire.
Performing surgery.
Yeah. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, he's like the second rib down. Go to my clavicle. Okay, even if you know English, how well do you need to know it to get clavicle?
Yeah.
That's not the first word you learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like down the list.
And again, we know she only knows Ethan in English. Because she's
And
speaking
he's going
like a
clavicle and second rib down.
clavicle.
I don't know if he even said right clavicle, left clavicle.
Yeah.
There's some major issues with this movie right
Language,
now.
yeah. Yeah, person speaking Eskimo. And I guess Haley Atwell understands Eskimo.
No, they had that whole scene where she was telling her left, right, straight.
But no, because he's speaking Eskimo to her. Mr. Langley's speaking Eskimo to Mrs. Langley to be like, go with, here are the coordinates. And Haley Atwell picks up on it. That's why she goes, I'll go feed the dogs.
I think they just knew that was a chance for them to escape. I don't think she knew the coordinate thing. I think she was just like, oh yeah, I'll go help. Because that's going to be our chance to get out of here.
I don't know. I thought she understood that they were saying, here's the coordinate.
No way.
When
Well,
you watch it
that's
again,
just a
let me
stretch then. That's a stretch.
Because they have it focused on her.
Yeah.
The shot's very specific to make it seem like Haley Atwell's listening.
Oh, well, that's bogus. And everybody just understands everything then.
Yeah.
Maybe they got a little...
But the Russians didn't pick up on it.
Yeah,
I feel like the Russians would speak Eskimo more than Haley Atwell.
Because they might have been stationed
London.
up there and you have to go...
Yeah.
It's like you can swim across the thing and be in Alaska talking to Eskimos.
Yeah.
You probably can go over there and spy. You need to know some Eskimo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Speaking different language.
Didn't think of that the first time through. So okay, yeah, that movie or that part, there's a deleted scene that had to explain what was going on.
Why they separated.
Why they went in that groupings.
Yeah. But anyways, while that's going on, that fiasco's going on.
That fiasco's going on.
Tom Cruise is jumping into the submarine.
Jumping in the submarine.
He's with the guy from Severance. The guy from Severance is Mr. something from Severance. The submarine captain.
That's who that guy was. I couldn't figure out.
I
where
liked
that
him
was
too.
from.
He kept going, Mister. You know, he had a character. To
Yeah,
him.
he was a good guy. So he's on this.
They drop him off, and that whole scene where he comes out of the submarine and then like the Russian submarine was following them.
Yeah.
That was sweet too.
Yeah, that whole underwater sequence was pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, that's where they kind of had weird music. But what we were talking about, where they keep up in the danger effect.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise goes in there, and you're like, oh, Tom Cruise, there's a lot of missiles loose. Be careful. Oh,
Well,
it's very
no.
2001 Space Odyssey too. I felt like
Yeah.
the room where the actual thing is.
Yeah.
And it's like spinning around like
Well,
that.
yeah. So first he goes into the sub. I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous danger anyway because it's 1,000 feet underwater, this and that, special suit. And then he gets in there, and then he has to open the thing, so it was dry in there, and now it's starting to be filled with water, so it's half filled, half unfilled. Then, because the water's filling up, the submarine starts to roll down this cliff. So, at first it's just rolling a little, but then after, they keep upping the thing, this submarine's just rolling, so he's inside, upside. He doesn't know he's upside down. Water's going all over the place. And then missiles. They're in this missile chamber where all the missiles are stored. They start breaking loose, and there's missiles falling around. The door gets stuck on.
Yeah, so he has to go through the torpedo hatch, which I thought was nice because the entity shoots that torpedo to sink itself, and that was the way he got out of there.
Yeah, that's the only way he could escape. So that was a cool sequence with the submarine.
Yeah. And then from there.
I don't even know if we have time. We're having technical difficulties.
Run out of batteries.
Run out of memory card. This thing's going to max out at an hour and go blank. So then you have this whole sequence where they go to doomsday bunker where they're storing, they store one of every seed and stuff like that. So you have them in case when the stuff hits the fan, we got something. So they go there, and that's when those chuckleheads show up.
The troublemakers. And ruin the plan.
Tom Cruise has it all nailed down. And those guys come barging in with their stupid ideas. Let's not let
What
Tom
are you gonna
Cruise
do
save the
here,
world.
buddy?
Yeah.
And so eventually it leads to this plane.
Leads to planes.
What a sequence.
Was quite a sequence.
Tom Cruise is climbing on that thing.
He is all over it.
I mean,
the picture makes it seem like he's just going to be hanging on the wing for a while, and maybe he climbed. He's all over that thing.
He starts on the bottom of it.
Starts on the
climbs
bottom.
up, gets into the seat, switches seats, jumps.
That's
to
on the first plane.
Yeah, jumps to the next one,
and then that guy's like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna try and get rid of him. He's going up and all over. Tom Cruise is close to the body of the plane. Then he ends up out here. Then he ends up on the bottom of the wing.
He's upside down.
He's all over the place.
What is he doing, man? That's where I was like the most tense. That whole sequence, I was like, I'm like, what is he doing?
What is he doing?
What is he thinking? Every time something happened, I was like, he's really. That's like really happening for real human
And
beings.
you can tell it. I mean, you can tell it's legit. That's what I mean. You don't get the sense that it's CGI at all. Because it's not. But if that was a CGI sequence in another movie, you would know it.
You'd be able to tell.
And it would take away from that tension.
But absolutely insane. Absolutely absurd.
He's like hanging on with his legs. He's like...
Yeah, at one point he is just with his legs, he's upside down hanging. What is going through your head when you're filming? You know what I mean?
It's gotta be a blast, man.
That's just incredible to me. I'm sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
I'm in the comfort of a theater, and I'm scared. Could you imagine just being there? Could you imagine doing that? Like, what is he doing?
I wonder if that stuff even phases him anymore. Like, if you've been up on that side of a building...
I mean, at this point, no.
Does it even phase you?
Maybe this one did. But at this point, who cares? Because really closest thing to that, I guess he was climbing all over a helicopter in one of them. But I feel like a helicopter is a lot safer. Those are like hovering.
Plus, you always have that one where you're just like the landing thing. You're always standing on that.
Yeah, you
hanging on. You got a foot. You got a foothold.
This is like, this is just insane. This is an illness. Somebody needs to check on it. An illness.
It probably is at this point. It's probably an adrenaline junkie.
Obviously it has to be.
Yeah.
But what gets you to that point?
You just do a little bit at a time.
I want to climb on a plane.
You do a little bit at a time.
And then we're going to climb on another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean. You start by dropping down and hanging above the ceiling, hanging above the floor.
You end.
And next thing you know, you're hanging off the plane.
Climbing on a plane like you're Spider-Man.
You're like, hey, that went pretty well. That thing was moving. What if something's just standing still? I'll just climb on a building. It's standing still. That can't be that big. Big deal. Oh, there we go.
It's over.
Where's the...
Here it is.
This is janky TV. You would think you could just put it...
Don't look.
You would think you could put it on just to loop, but this one doesn't allow that to happen.
We're back.
You have to manually turn it back on. So that's probably about our limit, because it's like an hour for that thing.
Yeah.
It's probably our limit.
That's
probably
we're going.
About as long as anybody wants to listen to us.
And we got a lot coming up.
There's some good movies coming up, and hopefully maybe we'll have some other topics. We can go over that film list.
I don't think we'll even need it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies.
There's 28
F1
days
looked
later,
really good.
F1.
I think that looks good.
Jurassic World. Although they keep showing too much.
See,
Jurassic Park, just show a T-Rex, okay?
And then surprise us.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me. That's what I'm saying with the trailers.
Sell.
They showed some dinosaur tonight that I had not seen on the other trailers. It looked like it had an alien type thing.
That's the big mutant.
I mean, why are you gonna show me that, man?
Again, you could
save some.
You could legit just show a T-Rex
and people be jazzed.
Oh, T-Rex!
And you know there's
that's
something
all it
coming.
takes for me.
Yeah, and you know something's
T-Rex.
coming. You know they're not going to just settle with the T-Rex. So just
But even if they did, it works.
Man.
Jurassic Park 1, that's your best one.
have somebody ride that sucker. Have somebody grab a rope and then ride it. Ride
Just
a
have them
T-Rex.
maul some people too.
Man, just have it kill people.
Yeah.
Like get like 50 people on that island. Just
Why not?
have them get eaten.
Oh.
Have them get eaten.
But yeah, they just keep showing too much, but we'll see that one.
See, I don't know.
No, we're seeing, it's Jurassic Park, T-Rex.
But that's what I'm saying. This
And then
is what I don't like
Superman.
the trailer. The way they do trailers now. I've seen that movie. They go there. They got to go with the pterodactyl to get the thing, and they run across these other. They even showed a sequence where a guy was in the cage with the dinosaur. Okay, just leave that go. And they showed the dinosaur come up behind. They showed the whole.
Yeah.
Save that for the movie.
Yeah, I have
I'm
some
gonna
watching
see that.
trailers.
I'm gonna see that part come up, and I'm going, okay, I've seen this full 2.5 minutes on the trailer. This guy's gonna get eaten.
But we'll see it anyway. Because there's dinosaurs.
Apparently, we'll see it.
Superman's right after that.
Superman's right after it,
And then Fantastic Four.
and then Fantastic Four.
And then
I don't
Weapons.
Yeah, what's that movie about?
That looks sweet. That's like the kids running.
Yeah, that's a good one. All
Don't
right,
wanna
so we
talk about
just
it.
are extending. We're just extending, and I don't know if we're really saying anything important that these people want to hear at this point.
We'll be back. That's what we're saying.
We'll be back, but leave your comments about where you sit in the theater. Shout out to the guys up in the top left. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and also check out Aiden's
My letterbox.
Letterbox
Mm.
reviews on Letterbox. I don't know how you look that up. How do you look it up?
My name.
His name
On Letterbox.
on Letterbox.
For objective film reviews.
Objective film reviews. I give it a. I'm gonna drop it down to a 9. I gave Thunderbolts an 8. You give this
I'm going to give it a 7.
and you gave Thunderbolts.
I gave Thunderbolts an 8.
All right, so there's just a comparison where we're at. But go see it at the theaters. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
You won't be.